Hello, dear friends, all followers and new arrivals. My name is Paul, and I am your host for today's episode where I will recapitulate the whole World Sense project and to tell you what's going on, so stay tuned. And first of all, I'd like to express that my heart and support belongs to Ukraine, their brave soldiers and people. And as you can read on the right, we are all in this together because the world is really small and we are somehow connected. So now let's talk about the World Sense project, and at first I will start with the first experiment that it's already running for several months, and if you are new here you might not be aware about this. So let's see where the experiment is running. At first, if you are new here, it is really good and desire to join the World Sense Awakening group, which is on the Facebook, and there are currently 896 members. And if you go here to featured, then scroll down, then there is the experiment number 1, and there is one task: think about the earth and then write down two numbers in a range from 1 to 100. And you can see that the post reached more than 500 people, and I got more than 160 comments here. So this is really popular experiment and it's still running, so you can join it and you can participate it and write down these two numbers into the comment line like the others did before. And I will show what the result is currently visible right now. So let's see that. Here is the task of the experiment number 1, and until now 127 human beings joined this experiment and provided their two numbers. So you can do it right now in the comment line just below the video. Also provide two numbers in a range from 1 to 100, and now see what happens. So this is the first imagination, and if you shrink your eyes and make the picture a little bit fuzzy, you can already see some forms. And if I move on, then there are some additional stars here, and finally the shape looks like this. So the picture is morphing and it's changing during time, and it's getting already some shape. And you see that in the left low corner there are more numbers than in the upper right corner, but you can also see it is like Orion belt, like 3 stars here, 3 stars here. Also we can notice some kind of line here and line here, and also here in the middle. So this is what happens when you think about the earth in some way, providing your numbers, and as it is done by many, then we can call it as the common sense. So this is the world sense in a very small scale, and my aim is to do it in much bigger scale to influence at least 1/3 of the population on the planet Earth. So let's say about 2 billion of people. And then I think these pictures and these results will be really much more significant and amazing. So this is just the beginning. So if you are interested, again, join the World Sense Awakening group, join this YouTube channel to be always informed about these experiments, and provide your numbers and stay tuned. So that's the experiment number 1, and here is currently running also experiment number 2. And experiment number 2 is now in the phase number 3. So if you already joined that, you know what it's about. So the phase 3 is just to you will ask to find 3 people to join this group, and the other 3 people, like this one, is also asked to find other 3 people. So it's more than exponential growth, and it was about to see how the butterflies effect can influence others, how we can gain more support and followers. So with the results, as the experiment number 2 is still running, I will inform you later on. It takes about, I suppose, about 2 weeks when this experiment will be finished. And this experiment is also, there is a video in the featured one, and here is the link to the group to join, because this is part of the experiment. The link will be also in the description of this video below. So join this group, that's the first thing, and then find 3 people, not more, not less, just 3 people, and make sure they will find also other 3 human beings joining this group. And the target is today to reach in total 1,000 members, but I will finish the experiment sooner. But my task to influence you and other people is to reach 1,000 people, and then I will leave it to the growth of this group just naturally, without any additional tries or promotions like this one. So I was really interested how this works, how it's possible to influence other people to with this kind of butterflies effect. So that's it. Also, just one of the conclusions from that experiment, which might be also interesting for you, is that I found if I will ask only to find 1 person, or to ask to 2 persons or 3 persons, which one is the best one? And in fact, I realized that the optimal one is just to keep the exponential growth. It means that I ask you to find 2 persons, and you will find 2 persons, and they will find in total 4 persons, 8 and 16, and then it's growing exponentially. Because if I ask just to find 1 person, it might happen that the branch will die sooner and the experiment will end up sooner, and the energy to this butterflies effect will not be distributed in the most efficient way. And if I ask you to find 3 people, then most of you can give up just in the beginning, because this task is a little bit more difficult to find 3 people. So it needs more energy, and this energy can be lost. So that is my conclusion, that the optimal will be just always to ask only 2 people, because when 1 branch will die, the other will continue, and also it's not so difficult like to find the 3 people. So this is one of my observations regarding this experiment number 2 from all these 3 phases, and I do not plan to do any other phases. That will be just finished, and as I said, it takes about 2 weeks when I will unofficially announce the end of that experiment. So you are still welcome to join this, and please do it to try to really gain this experiment and the effect of your effort, of your tiny small butterflies effort or force, and we can see then the results. So it is the experiment, and there are also some informations about the second experiment in this YouTube channel, which is called Walton's Project, And I like to ask you to subscribe here and click the bell to be notified about new upcoming video updates related to this WorldSense project. And finally, I started again to work on the official website for this WorldSense project. So I will show how the code looks currently. So I'm writing that in the HTML, which is this code to display the website, and then there are using the style CSS and also the script. So the page is just the beginning, and there is inside already some code. There is some formatting and to see in some nicer way, and finally there is already some code that is controlling the website. So even the website is quite small. I had to learn a lot, and there are already a lot of lines of the code just for the small functionality. So let's see how the new website will look, and when I will be in some phase, I will put it on the server so you can reach that. And you can see it here. So there is the name of the project. There is then the countdown until the awakening. So it's still this is the timer counting down, and that's one of the part of the code you've seen just a few seconds before. So it takes more than 3 years still to finish this project, but there is already some content, and you see I started these 2 experiments. So you are still free to support this project. You can also support me via Patreon. The link is in the description, where you have chance to put some contribution, some money to this project, and that can make it and can be in fact in some way sooner. But anyway, there is still a lot of work, so I will not surprise anything regarding the time. Then there will be functional that you can subscribe here your email for the new experiments and to be always informed about the project. And here you can see some small functionalities. So there is some content, so the menu stays always on the top, so you have chance to reach it. I have just the chapter about, so there is some text, and there will be more content during these weeks. But about these new things I will inform you. Currently I'm struggling with the responsive design. I did a lot of work that it works, so you see I'm scrolling down and then I can still see the menu. Also the menu is interactive, so when I click it, it changes the color and it is moving the content to the right position. If I put here the inspector, which allows me to play with the format, so I can make it responsive, like I can take some kind of mobile phone, for example, there is a Galaxy or Samsung. So you can see it here that it's responsive, so it will work and it will be visible in your mobile device in this way. I can also change the design, so I can make it responsive, that it will respond to the tablet and iPad or other devices. So you can see how it responds when the width is changing. And now I'm struggling with one thing. So until that point everything looks really great, perfectly. But when I make it a little bit thinner, which I don't know which device is such thin, but from that point it still looks great. So it's but the menu and the heading is shrinking quicker than desired. So if you have idea how to solve this issue, maybe I can just shortly show the CSS styling, so you can see the beginning, and there is, for example, the heading. So there is some kind of a flex is used here. There is the body. So maybe you can see, if you are experienced with the coding, maybe you can already see what to do to solve the issue with the responsive design. So that's all for today, and I hope it was everything interesting for you. So especially, as I said, experiment number 1, also join the experiment number 2 and wait for other news. I will come soon. At least I'm releasing one video once per month. So that's all for today, and I'd like to see you next time. I'd like to meet you in the World Sense Awakening group. And in the meantime, before I return, you are free to see this video on my right. And until that, have a great time and goodbye.